that is the only thing I wonder about from a coaching standpoint is I don't know if their defense is just still a work in progress or if they're just going to be letting people who they don't really respect shoot because they want guys to crash the boards more and because they're typically undersized. I
Yep.
thought there were some moments where guys were way too open, and I felt that way even in the Celtics preseason game. Like
hmm
Smart was basically wide open whenever. And look, that might be a calculated
It is
decision.
smart
Right?
to leave Smart wide open, but I
I
get.
I'm a little there were times where I was like, all right, Wiggins is actually like wide open from three, and I felt they got lucky at times because he just kept missing. Um, but so that's the thing I wonder. And like, look, I actually would respect them keeping like letting some guys stay open because they are going to need rebounding help. Like they're small and it's funny, right? Because they don't have their big guys aren't as great rebounders like the DeAndres and Jeff Greens of the world when those guys come in. And Durant, I'm still waiting to see kind of what he's going to be like from a rebounding perspective, just post Achilles. But the funny thing is that their guards actually do like to rebound, so they do make up for a little bit in that way. With Levert and Kyrie seem more aggressive, and Harris rebounds. But I'm just curious to see from a coaching perspective if they're going to give up threes to just guys who they just really just don't respect at all. Like I mean, they were like baiting Oubre to shoot, they were baiting Marquise Chris to shoot. They were baiting at times Wiggins to shoot. I mean, the only guy they really cared about was Curry.
Yeah, and they did an awesome job on him. I mean, it's going to be worth watching. They have a lot of possession, and the other thing that really, shocked my ears when I heard it was we've got to play faster. No, he Nash said, "I think we could play faster, and we're going to." We
Yeah.
didn't really work on the offense in this in the summer. I mean, in the off season. Jeez, what are we? What are we gonna look like when we start playing faster? Um, let's go to the bench, guys, man. Uh, I think the person who had the best game last night, and again, I'll get DMs and I'll get nasty tweets if I don't say this right. Karis LeVert was the best player in the game to me.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he
just
was unbelievable.
he 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 wasn't the pivotal player, but Karis LeVert was in terms of just your traditional kind of looking at what a player did. Uh, Karis LeVert had a tremendous game in my book. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought Karras was the dude. I thought I thought he was just totally relentless in the second unit, and um, I think I've given this analogy before, but I think there's something. Look, it's one thing for the Nets to have an aggressive second unit. That's I think going to be one of the better second units in basketball. It's another thing for that second unit to not only be good, but the way they play is also grueling. It's kind of similar to like a football team that can kind of like run the ball, but then you also have Mahomes, and then you can get a first down whenever you want, and it's just devastating, and the defense can never really take a break. And I think Levert kind of does that. I think Levert, when he comes in, you think, oh, we're getting the second unit, and it's not only that Levert scores, but he scores in unbelievably irritating ways for the defense. It's a lot of pump fakes. It's getting fouled. He pump fakes twice, then somebody cuts, then he passes it to that guy. That guy gets fouled for an N one.
Yeah,
He pump fakes, he drives, he pump fakes again, switches pivot foots, and then puts up a layup. Like
oh,
it's nonstop, and it honestly, like, I feel bad for the opposing defenses because it just looks exhausting to stick with forever. Like you can never leave your feet against him
yeah,
because he's either going to draw a foul or he's going to find somebody open.
yeah. I
Like it's
mean,
just endless.
yeah. Not and then on top of it, if he's going to do that and then have 9 rebounds and 6 assists with 2 steals and a block, we're in trouble. I mean, not we're in trouble. Excuse me. The NBA, y'all, you guys are fucked. You're not
Yep.
stopping this team. And Karras is my oldest son. I love the kid. You know what? For me with Karras, I love the person that he is. I love his story. Losing his father at a young age, having a growth spurt, being passed up by Ohio State and going to Michigan. Um, not even being recruited by Ohio State and ending up in at their his home rival, his hometown rival, Michigan, and and the way people who play with him love him. Uh, the kid is amazing to me as a person, and then again, it's what we were talking about earlier, willingness. He could have came off the bench and kind of sulked and went through the motions and was like, "Oh, they're trying to trade me for Harden, or that I don't know my future or whatever." Um, Karras, Karras freaking just came out there and was like, "You know what? I'm the sixth man. I'm going for sixth man of the year, day one." And forget about the 20 points. He scored effortlessly to me. He didn't shoot that well, but still, man, still he just looked like a great player, and his synergy with Jared Allen in the second unit makes me calm down. I don't love having the bigger, slower, plodding center in the starting lineup, but I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand. I also realize that you can't buy the chemistry that he has with Karras. There's an opportunity for them. We could win these two championships, and by the time that these guys our core pieces are entering their primes, we can add a new superstar, or KD and Kyrie could be on the back nine of their careers, and we could still be challenging. And so seeing these guys grow up and develop and basically create this process where they're going to learn their craft off the bench, not only is that just logical when you really calm down and look at it, it creates an opportunity that takes pressure off these other guys and just lets them blossom and become who they're going to become. And I really, really enjoyed seeing Karras just demolish Scrubs. Even though in the fourth quarter he started shooting poorly, he still was the best ball handler. He still, overcame, a lot of pressure defense that they, the only problem is that defenses understand, it's the second team defenses understand that, you really only have to stop Karras and the rest of the guys are just shooters. I saw a little bit of that last night, but still, it just worked. It clicked, and I'm really excited to see how that looks in Boston, because Karras kind of owns Boston now. He actually puts fear in their eyes, and they understand how good he is, too. So, amazing game from the bench. Tell me what you thought about Landry Shamet.
So, all right. So I don't know if you're gonna like this or not, because we haven't actually even talked about this even off air. Shamet at a certain point last night gave me a little bit of Alan Crabb vibes, where I was like, oh, is he gonna only be making threes when they're already up big and it doesn't matter anymore? Because that was just the vibe I got. Look, it's so early. I'm not someone that likes to make like super reactionary calls, but there was a moment where I was just like, all right, what is he adding right now? And look, we'll see. I mean, I think the only thing that really kind of irritates me about him is that he seems a little indecisive when he gets it, and he's just undersized, which hurts.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the build that even like Joe Harris has, or like imagine if he was Prince's size.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, overall, I still think it was probably the right trade for them to make. It's not like if they had picked whatever pick they had, I forgot what it was 17 or 18. It's not like that pick was going to be playing as many minutes most likely as what Shamet's doing right now. So yeah. I think it was still the right trade. I think he's also an asset. I was talking to one of my friends, shout out to Jacob, he made a good point where he's like, look, even if this thing doesn't work that well, he's still an asset that you could like trade at the deadline to maybe get
Right.
like a big guy, let's say, who is way less skilled. But I think people are still very intrigued by Shaman because the league wants shooters. So,
And he's young.
and he's young, right? Exactly, and he's
You
cheap.
know, exactly. I think he's got 2 years left on his rookie. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't have a good game, but he didn't have much to do either. It's not like he was chucking shots and missing. And I have to be fair to Torian Prince, who I thought, you know, he just brought up bad feelings because he blew a layup again. His next shot, he drew a foul, and only made one free throw. I mean, he had a 1 point night, which is fine for Torian Prince, but he also only had one rebound. Torian Prince can't give us one rebound in 18 minutes. Like, excuse me, 16 minutes if I'm reading this right, and Landry Shamet can't give us one rebound in 18 minutes. So those things we could be nitpicky on, we could be concerned, but I rather not spend a lot of times killing Torian Prince. I for right now, I just think he's one of Sean Marks' worst signings.
yeah. I mean, the
It
big
shows that Sean Marks is human.
the big thing about Prince, which I think you've said both uh, very succinctly and strongly on Twitter, is there's times with him where I just don't really know like what he's adding on the court, and I think the worst thing that an NBA player can have is you just kind of forget that he's there. And that's what he has a lot with me. Like he just like I every time he's in, you're kind of like it honestly doesn't register. It
Yeah.
he doesn't he's not involved on offense. I don't even think he's really super involved on defense. And because of that, it's more so just like another body. Which like look, they need guys that are above 6'4". They don't have many of them. So
And you know, I saw people running out on Shamet. I didn't see people running out. Like I guess the defense decided we're gonna basically make sure Shamet can't shoot. We're gonna hedge on Jarrett so that Karras can't throw him a lob, and you know, we're not really worried about Torian Prince because he's really not that good. And I thought he'd be better at small forward. I was so happy to see those big lineups of Jared Allen and the guy I think kind of put the cherry on top of this whole game, Jeff Green. I was not happy when we signed Jeff Green.
no, he was good yesterday.
He's been good throughout. He's the type of power forward. I've always considered Jeff Green more of a small forward. But still, he's athletic enough. He's physical enough. He has old man strength. You know, I think he's 34. And he's one of the stronger Nets. I'm gonna enjoy watching him a lot more than a lot of these like guys that Sean Marks typically brings in, the Jared Dudleys, the who's the guy they brought in the first year from Venezuela? What's Luis Scola, Trevor Booker type of guys. I've always said the power forward position is Sean Marks' blind spot. But Jeff Green has been the best center and power forward signing that we saw, and I again, another person I want to throw roses at their feet. You need guys like Jeff Green on your team if you're going to win a championship, and I'm hyped to have him. What did you think about Jeff Green?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I really liked the signing, and I'm happy that he's. I mean, I would have liked obviously more bigs as we talked about on this pod a bunch, but I think he's a really good addition. I also I also think what's really underrated about him, and this is me pivoting a little bit, is I think you actually have a lot of guys on the team now who I actually think are just good locker room dudes. I think
Yeah.
when you